Why do gas stations charge for air? Homes, cars, and groceries may be vastly more expensive than they were just a few years ago, but air remains our best free and abundant resource. Unless you're in space or underwater, naturally. Yet thousands of gas stations around the country have found a way to monetize it, charging customers anywhere from 25 cents to several dollars to use a compressed air machine to inflate their tires. If you want to discover more surprising truths about everyday topics, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more. Can they really charge for air? In most cases, yes. In others, they might be breaking the law. Under pressure. Most gas stations feature a kiosk near the pumps with a compressed air nozzle that can inflate tires that have fallen below the pounds per square inch, or PSI threshold recommended by automobile manufacturers. That number can often be found on a label located inside the car's door jamb. Dropping a few quarters in the machine kicks on the compressor and gives customers a few minutes to fill up. The value of this service is somewhat subjective. While air is free, the delivery method to get it pumped into your tires could be construed as something worth paying for. And there is cost associated with running a compressor, which requires electricity, but many gas station owners cite a different reason for putting a premium on their air. They're trying to avoid people making use of the business's resources without paying for gas or other products. "We aren't making a huge profit from it," one gas station proprietor told the Press Democrat back in 2013, "but we don't want people just taking the air all the time without buying gas." Back when full-service gas stations were the norm in the early part of the 20th century, checking tire pressure was just part of what the attendant did for you. Over time, though, as self-service stations became more popular, that little freebie started to disappear. By the 1970s, charging for air had become so common that the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration actually spoke up about it. They argued that making folks pay for tire inflation could discourage them from keeping their tires properly inflated, which, could lead to more accidents. Depending on where you live, you might not actually have to pay for air. But, honestly, some service stations might be keeping that fact a bit of a secret. So, here's the thing. Back in 1999, California passed a law saying gas stations had to offer free air and water to customers, as long as they were also buying gasoline. But the law didn't exactly make headlines, and a lot of stations just kept charging for air anyway. Some did put up signs to let customers know about their rights, but yeah, the lettering could be pretty tiny and easy to miss. Sometimes it actually takes a customer asking for free air to get it. The compressors usually have a bypass, either on the machine itself or inside the station, that lets you activate it without dropping in quarters. Connecticut has a similar law, but there, you don't have to buy fuel to get free air. Other states, though, may or may not have any rules to protect you from getting charged for air. Sometimes getting free air for your tires really depends more on where you go than what state you're in. For example, chains like Discount Tire and Firestone will check your tire pressure and add air for free, no strings attached. And convenience stores like Wawa and Sheetz, they make it a point to offer free air at all of their locations. If you're not sure where to find free air nearby, you can always use a locator like freeairpump.com to help you out. Of course, if you'd rather not rely on public pumps, which, let's face it, can sometimes be in rough shape, you could just keep a portable compressor in your trunk, just in case.